Right now we are in Maine and we're in search of the best lobster rolls in the state. So, these are lobster traps behind me. So we've been exploring around the Skutik Peninsula, and that has brought us to Corea, and we're here for lunch. We are going to grab some seafood, probably some lobster, here at the Korea Gallery and Grill, right on the wharf here. Man, it is already so beautiful here, and we're just getting started.
I'm trying to find the right adjective right now. Idyllic, quintessential perfection. I don't know. It's about 70 degrees. We're on the coast in Maine in the fall. We're sitting on a wharf out on a dock, and we've got a lobster dinner coming, lobster roll, baked beans, potato salad, and blueberry pie. Now, those sides are important because wherever we go somewhere, we do a little research into the history of food wherever we're going. And blueberries were a big deal up in Maine. They grow a lot of blueberries. They used to be the biggest blueberry producer. They're not anymore. But blueberry pie, blueberry cake is a big deal up here. So we're going to have that for dessert. Baked beans and potatoes. Those are two things that were very common in New England, especially in Maine. They have some bean factories up here, and they used to grow more potatoes than Idaho before Idaho took them over. So potato salad, baked beans, blueberry pie, all part of the equation. So when you add in the lobster roll, and those three sides, I don't think we're going to get a more Maine meal than this in this setting. It's really why we travel.
You cannot beat this setting. Very good. The lobster is so fresh, and I feel like that's a very obvious statement because there are traps surrounding us on all sides. Oh, wow. I mean, it's good bread, nice and crispy. Very simple. I mean, wow. This is my new happy place.
So when I was a kid, I learned my lesson. Order the lobster roll, because eating a lobster broiled is a bit of a mess. Lobsters, a lot of juice comes out typically. There we go.
Oh my god, there's so much water coming out.
So, that's pretty good right there. And let's go with it.
You have all the tools you need.
Have the tools I need.
Ooh. Oh, wow. Wow.
Back to the sea. And look at that. Fresh Maine lobster claw. Oh, man. You can't get the freshness anywhere else except for when they're pulling it right out of the ocean, cooking it right here. Got the lobster tail out. Look at that. Look at that. That's beautiful. Right there. It's just all fresh lobster meat. I'm gonna. Ooh, it's hot.
Yeah, it's fresh. It's just
Hot butter.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Look at the butter dripping.
I was very excited for the lobster, but I have a feeling this blueberry pie is gonna be the star of the show. I know, it's crazy. Oh, it's a very flaky crust. It's so blue. It is made here, right here, in this little wharf. It is a perfect balance of sweet and sour from the blueberries. And really, anything in this setting is going to be absolutely delicious, but this pie is no joke. We might have to order a whole pie to go to take with us for later. We just finished up at the Wharf Gallery and Grill. It was so good. The lobster, incredibly fresh. The blueberry pie knocked it out of the park. I mean, I don't know if we're going to top that setting. We're going to keep rolling on this Maine food tour, but an incredible setting. We're actually here right before they're going to close for the season. So we got really lucky. They closed the second week in October. So we just made it. And I'm so glad that we got the chance to come here because it was perfect start to our day here on the Schoodic Peninsula and as we head over to Acadia National Park. For lunch today, we are heading over to the Travelin Lobster. We drove by yesterday on our way into the area around Acadia, and there was a pretty long line outside, so it's definitely a popular spot. Today they're only open from 2:30 to 6:30. It does change depending on the day and the time of year, so it's a short window of time for us to get our lobster rolls at the Travelin Lobster today. We are here waiting in line at the Travelin Lobster. We're gonna get some lobster rolls, we're gonna get some clam chowder. I don't know, maybe something else will grab our attention.
Can we get one clam chowder, one large hot roll, one mac and cheese, and a blueberry pie with ice cream.
So the Travelin Lobster here in Maine does their lobster rolls in a variety of different ways, but one of the ways they do it is the hot lobster roll. That's where they take the lobster meat and they put it in a butter bath. So instead of doing cold with mayo, this lobster is hot. And here's the deal. We haven't eaten today and I'm ready to dig in, so let's just go. Oh man, I see why people line up. The lobster is very fresh, it's so tender, and then on top of that, this bun is buttery soft. I mean, it's like you bit into a perfectly cooked stick of butter, if that makes any sense. And look at that claw meat. Oh man, look at the butter dripping off that. Well, it's my understanding that the hot lobster roll is the Connecticut style, but I have to say, while I enjoy the ones with a little bit of mayo that are served cold, right now this lobster roll is a king. But we're having a good time trying to figure out which one's the best in Maine.
So I lost count at which lobster roll this is. I think it's 3 or 4. I don't know. The crab roll doesn't exactly count, so I think this is 3. And they've all been amazing so far. I am excited to try a little twist on it. Oh my God. There is a lot of butter. It is so good. The bun is just like melting in your mouth. And you're left with so much lobster meat. There's so much, like, look at, this is just claw meat. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Wow.
So with the extra lobster meat that's falling off our roll, and there's a lot of meat on there, we're throwing in the mac and cheese we got. So it's now a lobster mac and cheese. Oh my goodness. This is like a Havarti and cheddar mac and cheese, and it is creamy, delicious. When we were hiking on an empty stomach, which isn't very smart, but we don't have an empty stomach anymore. And this is the perfect creamy remedy. Mac and cheese with lobster, right there. The butter's still coming through. The guy in line in front of us said he got it for lunch yesterday and came back today because he had to have it again. And I get that.
All right, this is the first clam chowder we've had since we have been in New England. There's a ton of potatoes in here and clam meat. Oh, that's good. That is really good. Aside from the hot roll, their chowders are what they're really well known for, and this is amazing. This is making all my New England clam chowder dreams come true right now. Sometimes I serve it in a bread bowl. They did not have bread bowls today, but it's still amazing just on its own. I don't think I'm gonna share this at all. Since we got here, I've noticed that the line has like doubled in size. And like Adam said, there's a reason people wait in line for this food because everything has been great. We also ordered blueberry pie because, I mean, everywhere has it and it's homemade here. Adam went up to grab it at the counter.
We've learned our lesson. That's eat blueberry pie when you're in Maine. And we are doing that right now. Got blueberry pie with 2 scoops of Maine-made vanilla ice cream. Look at that. The blueberries in Maine are a bit smaller and they seem to be a bit sweeter. They're also, every time we've had them, they're just loaded with sugar, which also helps the sweetness. But you can't make this at home because you can't get these blueberries as good. You can't go to the store and buy a pint of blueberries and make this pie. You have to have blueberries from Maine, and they are, look at that. Oh, look at that. It's like Minnesota Vikings colors.
Ice cream is really good. I mean, I know vanilla ice cream isn't usually the most exciting ice cream, but
This one is topped with blueberry.
it's really good. Yeah, it's got the blueberry sauce. Yes, everything is homemade, everything is delicious, and I just think I'm gonna have a hard time like leaving the pie. That's not what I expected. I expected like, oh, I don't want to leave Maine. I've had so much delicious lobster, but I think I'm gonna be thinking about this pie for a long time. I'm not usually a pie person, but Maine has changed me. Well, we finished up our meal at the Travelin Lobster. Everything was delicious from start to finish. I know we said it earlier, but we can see why people line up all day long to get their hot rolls because there's so much lobster meat and so much flavor, so much buttery goodness. I had a great time. I'm surprisingly not sick of eating lobster yet, as many times as we've had it since we've been up here. Maybe we can get one more stop in while we're up here.
We can find another unique lobster roll.
We're trying to find unique lobster rolls. Everyone that we've had has had a little variation, and that keeps it fresh. We are at Charlotte's legendary Lobster Pound, and we're just outside of Acadia National Park, and we just placed our order.
I think what we'll do is a foot-long crab roll with fries and slaw, and then we'll also do a lobster bisque.
We are gonna go halvesies because it's a foot-long crab roll. I mean, Adam probably could eat it all by himself, but I don't think he's going to.
In Maine, they're obviously known for their lobster. They do have crab too, and their two most common types of crab are Jonah crab and rock crab. This is Jonah crab, I checked, it's local, so we're gonna go in. Crab is one of my favorite types of meat. I actually like it better than lobster, but we're in Maine, which is kind of like being in the realm of lobster, so we're doing mainly lobster. This is crab. There's a lot of meat, and it's good. Crab's really a little sweet. It's a very clean, very tasty crab roll. Good bun too, slightly toasted.
Keep seeing lobster bisque all over the place. Finally getting some. It's a great lobster flavor. It's also starting to get kind of chilly out, so this is like the perfect meal right now. I'm happy to be in Maine. I'm happy to be eating all this delicious seafood while we're out here. Well, I guess it's not seafood, it's shellfish, but whatever. This time of year, a lot of lobster places start closing down for the season because it's just not as busy in the fall as it is in the summer. So we're very happy to be at this place that is super, super lively and has a lot going on. We are at the Eagle's Nest restaurant, and we are here to get lobster rolls. We already looked it up online. Everything looks really good, has amazing reviews. I've been looking forward to this whole trip. They know how to do lobster rolls in Maine. Big shock. This is so good.
So we're going full meat. I mean, this thing is packed. Look at how much meat is on there. Oh man, that lobster is so fresh. A little bit of mayo on it. Good bun. Look at that thing.
It's so good.
Awesome.
There's so much lobster on this sandwich. It was incredible. We just finished up at the Eagle's Nest. Wow, those were gigantic lobster rolls. We probably could have split one. They were huge, stuffed with incredible fresh lobster. So simple, and it really, really hit the spot. I don't think it's gonna be the last lobster roll that we eat while we're here in Maine. We are still in Bar Harbor, and we're getting breakfast at Jeannie's Great Maine Breakfast. We are getting blueberry pancakes, and Adam's gonna get a huge breakfast. So it's called the Cadillac Mountain, which is where we were last night. It's 65 degrees today, so it's beautiful. We are sitting outside on their dog-friendly patio. It's a really, really cute space. All right, my very berry pancakes have arrived. There are blueberries on the inside and some homemade blueberry sauce on top, whipped cream. It is a blueberry dream here. Leaving the blueberries in Maine really is gonna be the hardest part. All right, let's load it up.
No lobster at this meal.
Oh man. I just want this like blueberry sauce injected into my veins all the time. It is so good. This is basically dessert for breakfast, and I won't apologize for that. I didn't even put syrup on it. I forgot about syrup. It doesn't really need it. Truthfully, it does not need it. The pancakes are fluffy, crispy, so much blueberry flavor. This is the Maine breakfast of our dreams.
My plates of food is called the Cadillac Mountain, which we went up yesterday. Beautiful views. Also a beautiful view at breakfast right now. We got 3 eggs, pieces of toast, 2 bacon, 2 sausage, fries, grilled ham, a blueberry pancake, and baked beans. Baked beans are a big deal in Maine, but also this is very British. They have beans over in Britain for breakfast, which when we were in England, I did not try that. I guess we're in New England and I'm trying new things. So let's dig in here. I don't even know where to start. These sausages look seasoned too, so we're gonna do that.
Sausage looks good.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. Oh, look at that. We drove up Cadillac Mountain. This seems like a reward for someone who hiked up Cadillac Mountain, but I'm gonna do it all the same. I'll just be over here eating all this.
Last bite. I can't believe I ate all those. Worth it. We finished up our breakfast at Jeannie's Great Maine Breakfast. Yeah, I'd say that was a Great Maine breakfast. Blueberry pancakes, Adam's huge Cadillac Mountain breakfast. Definitely hit the spot. Would totally recommend if you're in the Bar Harbor area, stop in and have breakfast there because everything was homemade and just, man, that blueberry sauce was delicious. So we are making one more stop in a coastal town today. And right now we are in Rockland. Before we leave Maine, we need to have one more meal. And if you have made it this far in the video, I think you know what we're probably going to be eating. Starts with an L, ends with an R. We're stopping at a place called Claws here in Rockland. And yes, we're gonna grab one last lobster roll before we roll out of Maine.
Here it is, the final entry in our Maine lobster crawl, or what I'm calling it, the lobster claw crawl. We are in Rockland. This is the lobster capital of the world, which is what they say on the sign. So we're taking all the signs to be truth here in Maine, and we have learned our lessons along the way. We like the butter poached warm lobster roll, and so that's what they got here. They call it the Flatlander, which, you know, I won't take offense to because we come from very flat lands with a lot of cornfield. But one of the things that we've kind of been noticing is the lemon. We would love to squeeze a lemon on all of our lobster rolls. This one came with it. Good touch. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, and butter. And that looks like a good amount. And this restaurant is called Claws. That's not a claw. This is a claw. Look at that. Live it up to the name. I'm gonna actually take a little bit and drip it in the lobster bisque. I'm saving that for later. So, let's dig into our final lobster claw. Oh my god. That is buttery goodness right there. I didn't think the lobster rolls were going to keep getting better. Amazingly, they have. This one is so tender, so soft, and just loaded with butter. I got to get Madeline eating it before all the butter melts through the bread, so let's go.
All right, let's put it back together a little bit here. The bread is really really soaked through with butter. So we're probably going to be using a fork and knife for the rest, but let's get a bite. So good, so buttery. I really don't want to leave. Yeah, I think we have come to the conclusion that the hot roll is the way to go. Yell at me in the comments if you disagree, but this is my new favorite thing.
That's the lobster tail right there. So, lobster bisque. Last time we got lobster bisque, Madeline ate like 95% of it, so I've been really wanting it, and theirs looked very good. We saw people eating it before we walked up. Look at that. I put a little extra lobster in there. Oh, yeah. So, the key to a good soup is making your own broth. I'm guessing they use the leftover lobster, make their own seafood broth. Creamy, tomatoey, chunks of lobster in there. That's not even lobster I put in there. Like, that's just legit. That's just more lobster. Ooh, man. Every year on New Year's, we try to recreate our favorite bites of the year. It's kind of our meal. I don't think we're gonna be able to do this one because we're not gonna be able to get lobster that good. But I have found the secret to the best lobster roll in Maine. And I think it's whichever lobster roll you're eating at the time. Find a nice setting, get a lobster roll, kick back and enjoy life. Well, we finished the lobster roll, and look how much lobster meat was left over. That's all going in the lobster bisque.
Lobster bisque here is really, really good. I know we just added a bunch of extra lobster to it, but there was so much lobster in here already. It's so good. All right, my last bit of lobster for a while.
Claw is a claw.
It is a claw piece. Until we meet again, Maine. All right, well, we have finished up our Maine lobster food tour. We are gonna put a link in the description below to all the places that we went in this video, if you wanna check them out yourself. If you've been to any of these places that we've been to, let us know in the comments below. Or if you go after you've watched this video or because of this video, please let us know, because we absolutely love recommending great places like all these lobster shacks that we've been to in this video. And we love to hear if you guys have gone. If you want to see more from our adventures in Maine, click right here. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.